Hi, I'm homosexual Bryan Safi,
And I'm feminasty Erin Gibson.
and this is Attitudes, LGBT plus issues,
Gender issues.
pop culture.
Oh, spring is sprung in Vancouver, and I have nary a jacket on.
Uh-oh, can you handle it?
That means, you know what that means? Bikinis out on these streets.
Really?
These people wild out. The minute it gets hot,
spring is sprung in the libido and the labia and the
all the labias are out in
scrotum
Vancouver.
or whatever it is, get very involved.
Genitals out. It's like sun's out, genitals out. That's the Vancouver saying.
Gen Z, baby. Genitals, A to Z.
Do you think Gen Z stands for genital Z?
Definitely.
Okay. Just want to clear.
They're the last in
up.
line for, so I don't know, Erin. I really don't.
Children of men scenarios?
So, yeah, exactly. How are you? So what's going on? People are in bikinis just rollerblading around town?
Rollerblading, the sun is out. I mean, you haven't seen a more left turn than when the sun comes out in Vancouver for 2 days in a row. People are literally whistling like it's Snow White.
That's how it's been here in New York. It was raining for a long time, and then it was finally like sunny yesterday. I love it. Everyone's out and about. Everyone's in the park.
Love is in the air. Hope.
Love is in the air. Being a hoe is in the air. Genital X is out. Genital Z is out. Milgenital is out. All of them. You know what I mean?
All the genitals. Why do we have to divide the genitals up by years?
I agree with you.
Is it really a thing? Because there's plenty of boomer
I guess just to
genitals
identify trends, maybe.
But I know plenty of genital Xers who act like genital boomers.
Oh, yeah. What are those ones? They don't have genitals in their name. It's impossible.
Genital boomers?
Yeah. Because we can do milgenitals. That's millennials.
Greatest genital ration.
Genital Z. Greatest genitalization. Which, by the way, shout out to the greatest genitalization because it's Memorial Day this week.
Yes. Thank you for
And not just for that generalization, but for all, truly. And now I'm sounding disrespectful, and I don't mean to. For anyone who's given their lives for this country, we honor you and we respect you. And
yes, and they're definitely listening to this podcast.
Well, they're not any longer.
Yeah. If you know someone,
yes,
let them.
Who knows someone? Tell a friend.
And you're doing seances, then you let them know we said this.
Absolutely, yes. If you're planning on talking to anyone who might have died for this country,
you're doing a Mary Todd Lincoln scenario
at
party at your house. Yes,
she did seances, didn't she?
Oh yeah. Well, have you ever seen the pictures of the seances that she used to have at her house? Because this was so no. Houdini. Houdini, you know,
who we know through Dua Lipa.
The famed subject of the Dua Lipa song.
Yeah.
He devoted his last years of his life to defrauding or uncovering the fraudsters that were.
Because he was saying that people are scamming you.
And I think I've mentioned this on this podcast before, but have you ever seen the pictures of the seances they would do and how they would do ectoplasm, which was a term that era of, spirit talkers
ESP.
did. It would literally be wet lace under a hat that they would pull out.
I love those.
Everyone was freaked out.
Great. Freak me out, baby. I'm here to be freaked on.
But if I pulled wet lace out of my hat, you would just be like, you would just read the lace. Is it good lace? Is it bad lace?
And I would honestly think that's really disrespectful to lace because I'll tell you the last thing lace wants to be is wet. It's frankly like giving a cat a bath. They don't like that.
When I see a lace tablecloth, I get scared for the lace. I
would lay down my life for lace. I'm a lace guard. I trained to be a lace guard. I stand around pools making sure no lace gets in it.
Yes. And I'm an atheist, but I go to church, the back of churches. And when they do after church snacks, I see someone laying down lace. I go right like Jesus on that cross. I just hands out, plop on that table. And I go, under no circumstances are you going to put a wet ass pudding pie on this lace.
I said, good day, sir. I said, good day. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, that's fun. So is Ale there?
Yeah. No, I live by myself.
I was going to say, you can't jump on that, D. I mean, now that it's spring.
Yeah. No, I just stay in this concrete box and I go to work and then I come back to this. Sometimes I eat borscht. That's my life.
Hot or cold?
Either. There's
Same.
this place, there's this Ukrainian place here in Gastown.
I'm a big borscht.
It's so good. I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
It's better than Veselka.
You know, Veselka is really good, but what it really rides on is the fact that it's an institution. Like,
yes,
that's really what their thrust is. So I believe you, actually.
But not to be like, not welcome to Borscht Blog, but this is the borscht at Veselka has those big gigante beans or lima beans. Which I love. But they don't do it in this borscht here. That's the only diff.
That's okay.
Yeah, but it's a Ukrainian place. I love going there. It's so good. And I get pierogies from there too. And that's what I eat. I eat just Ukrainian food at night.
Guess what I did?
You got a facelift?
Erin, honestly, that's like the hugest compliment anyone's ever given me. I would have, honestly, I want one. I always say,
for what reason?
I don't know. I just think it'd be funny, but also like,
but you get it too tight?
Yeah, that would be hilarious. You
I would love it. Show us what it would look like.
It'd be like
pull it real tight.
Okay.
Looks like you've jumped out of an airplane and we're capturing you.
Maybe I should start jumping out of airplanes.
Oh, that's it. And just
having the person I have a crush on be below me so they can see up.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, you know what someone told me that was absolutely disturbing?
Tell me.
Speaking of faces.
Okay.
A friend of mine who's a woman said you should never be on top.
Because you look saggy.
It's unflattering. You should always be on your back once you hit 40.
Well, excuse me. You know who else said that?
Who?
Blanche.
On the Devereaux?
Yes.
Maybe that's where she got it.
She said the pro of being on top is that everything can, even though your skin on your face gets looser, but when you're on your back, your boobs just go whichever way they want. So according to Blanche Devereaux, there's a no-win situation.
There's a no-win. Okay.
So just don't, maybe on your side or reverse cowgirl.
Oh, yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. Once you hit 60, you should really only be doing reverse cowgirl.
You should only be doing reverse cowgirl in a jersey of the sports team that whoever you're riding loves.
Absolutely.
Disappear as a human being because no one wants to look at you.
Just be an object. Become invisible.
Just be a fucking inside out hot dog for this man. Then you win. Yeah. Anyway, what'd you do? Not a facelift.
I got one ticket to
Paradise
Opera. Opera.
Which one?
By the way, I'm actually not that crazy about opera. I'm crazy about some arias and some pieces, but I think every entire opera I've seen is too long, too boring. The dialogue is the worst. I can't even believe they had separate librettos because the dialogue is literally like, I want to kiss you. You want to kiss me? Yes, I want to kiss you. Why do you want to kiss me? Well, I just want to. Well, but you have to tell me why. Okay, because I love you. You love me? I love you. Why do you love me? Just it's been building inside of me and I can't control it. Well, you should control it, but I don't want to. Well, but can you? I can try. No, I don't want to try. I don't want to. But just try it. Okay, I will. Now I want to kiss you. Well, what are you going to do about it? Well, nothing. Well, come on, just think of something. I can't think of anything.
It sounds like two toddlers at a jungle gym.
It really is. Because by the way, in an opera, each scene has to last like an hour because they're only going to change the scene like twice. There's no cut to, there's no going here, there's no
jump
going
cuts,
there.
There's no Edgar Wright fast camera movements.
And it's not even like a play where it's like the plot in this is like, I want to kiss somebody. That's the plot of the opera.
It was Whitney Houston.
Oh, I want to kiss somebody. No, I actually love this song. All that to say, this was a great one.
Wait, which one is it?
Salome.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which, for those of you who don't know, it's a biblical
Which is everyone. Yep.
King Herod, Erin. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Who is ruling over, the Jewish people way back in, Jesus had just started. Okay. But he was in Jerusalem at the time.
Jesus just got his business up. He just started his LLC.
And he was making everyone nervous, all the leaders and kings nervous, because they were like, how can this guy be doing these things? So Herod.
And did they talk about how Jesus looked like Jim Morrison in all the recent depictions of him?
They didn't mention that specific thing in the Richard Strauss opera, but because I think Jim Morrison wasn't born yet.
Oh, okay.
Unless was he born around the turn of the 20th century? I can't.
Well, I'm sure someone in his lineage was who looked very similar.
You know what? You're right. I mean, we're all from somewhere. So,
ain't that the truth, sister?
Okay, mama, sister. So anyway, it's a very serious story, Erin.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So Herod ends up getting John the Baptist as a prisoner. Okay. And he doesn't want to let him out because he's like, John the Baptist is clearly a powerful prophet, even though I don't necessarily believe what he's saying. So we have to capture him. Salome is his bitch wife, which they say, everyone always talks about, oh, she's a whore. Herod's wife is such a whore. That's because when her husband died, she married Herod, and Herod and her husband were brothers. So they call the wife incestuous and a whore.
Yeah. Okay. But really, it's just a misunderstanding.
Really, neither is true. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And she has a daughter by the first husband named Salome, who's very sexy. She's 17. And Herod has a huge crush on her. And
I see problems already in this fact that this Herod is like, what? He's in his 50s?
At least.
Yeah.
And Herod always has his eye on Salome. And Salome's always like, please stop looking at me. And then mother's like, please stop looking at her. But then she hears John the Baptist singing in the cellar.
Oh, not crying.
And her legs start spreading and she gets really fucking horny for him. So she demands to be let in there. And the whole
This is a 17-year-old?
Yes.
And he's singing what, like something she likes, like Justin Bieber, like
he's sort of talking in like gibberish, like saying these prophetic things that aren't making sense, kind of hallucinating. And she keeps saying, every time he says something crazy, she keeps saying, like, I want to kiss you. I want you to touch me, blah, 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 blah. But he doesn't want anything to do with her.
Okay.
So after
correct me if I'm wrong. This is a time when there's only like 6 people you could choose from to date, right?
Yeah. And
a
couple of them were prisoners who hallucinated.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Salome, eventually King Herod goes, if you dance for me, and it's called the Dance of the 7 Veils.
This is where this comes from.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a striptease, but it's veils.
I'll give you anything you want. And so she goes, okay, I want John the Baptist's head on a silver platter.
Why?
And he goes, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'll give you half my kingdom, because he rebuffed her and she was horny for him.
Oh, I missed that part. So she went down to be like, I love your lyrics. I'm more of a music lady, but your lyrics could use some work.
Come on, baby, light my fire. Don't use that. That's what she said to him.
He goes, babe, you're not my type. I might be stuck in a cell, horny as hell. Fucking
but A, you're too young. B, you're not. Your mother's a whore. He says that a million times. And you're born of incest, which wasn't true.
Well, now I want to see him dead. Go ahead.
So anyway, she dances, and Herod finally says, "Fine, you can have his head on a platter." And she gets really excited, and so they decapitate him. And she goes down to the cellar and covers herself in his blood and makes out with his head.
That is goth as hell.
And by the way, the music is legitimately scary and the scenery was so spine tingling. But in this version, they did something very fresh that everyone was sort of, and by the way, this opera was banned for decades after.
Well, yeah. Female empowerment.
It was considered garbage, sex forward, like she owns her sexuality, blah, blah, blah. And it was actually strangely considered kind of feminist, even though now you look at it differently. But they did something kind of cool with this, where Salome is constantly flashing back to her childhood. And in this version, she has John the Baptist killed to fuck up Herod's kingdom for having probably touched her or at least looked at her entire life. Because there's all these there's like versions of her ranging from like 5 to 16 through this specific staging. So, and you're seeing each of them getting revenge on him at different times, on Herod. So it's like, it's amazing how like the same opera has this entirely new interpretation now.
And it's not even that they haven't changed anything. They've just changed the imagery.
Just changed the imagery and also the way she moves, because now the way she moves is clearly sort of like someone who has been victimized or something like that. Like it's unbelievable. And so by the end, your jaw's on the floor, not only because the music is genuinely scary at that point, and the imagery is, I mean, you're seeing all these girls covered in blood of like this adult man, thrilled about it. And then and then waving goodbye at Herod and like walking off in the distance. And you know that they're all coming for Herod now to kill him.
And then do they play anything from Lemonade by Beyonce to really bring it up to speed at that point?
Well, she like does carry it back. She's wearing a yellow flowy dress. She says, hold up. They don't love you like I love you. That kind of thing.
Oh, I love it. Is it burning up the New York City scene?
Well, it was, except last night was closing night.
But so you're telling us about something we can't see? So
don't see it because you can't see it. But I'll be honest, it was still boring. And this opera's fast. It was only an hour and 40 minutes. But the end, I would say the end was thrilling, and I was sweating even.
So if you get a chance to see it, I would buy tickets and then go for the last 20 minutes.
Hour 20. And then wake up. Yeah.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, couldn't they take some kind of liberty and just cut some songs out?
Yeah.
Or cut them down or something? I don't know.
I agree.
I know there's like a plan or like, you know.
But like still the dialogue is, I want to kiss you. You're a whore. But I want to kiss you. But you're a whore. Well, but can I kiss you anyway? No, you're a whore. Well, what if I kissed you? Please don't. I mean, it's like that for an hour.
Is it too hard to just cut it out because people are having to learn another language?
Yeah, this one was in German, actually. Can you believe it? Yeah. Which made it even scarier. Yeah. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
I don't want to see it actually now.
No, but I thought they would be selling like veils or like something for merch, and they didn't.
That would be nice. 7 veils.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or maybe what they've done is they've been like, which veil do you want to go to? Vail, Colorado, Vail, Pennsylvania, you know, the all the veils.
Absolutely.
Bridal veils, which is outside of Portland.
And then I was walking down the street today and thought to myself, what came first, a bar or a barber?
Well, I think I don't have the answer, but they're definitely not related.
And I can be honest with you, I don't even want to look it up. And don't tell me, anybody.
I won't. And you know what? That's a bad use of the internet. But you know, now whenever you Google something, AI is just like, I'm getting involved.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm probably going to answer you wrong anyway, because I don't know. It's a dumb question for me.
You're going to have to go get you're going to go get microfiche because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
And why don't we call bartenders barbers?
But weren't they called barkeeps?
Yeah, but why didn't we call them barbers? Or would it be borrowers? But then people will get confused because you know how you say, I need to borrow some money. So that would be confusing for them.
Was the barber of Seville? Oh, he was a barber and a pharmacist. Is that correct? Is that what right. That was the crossover there?
I think that, Erin, you referenced other opera.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Apparently we love them.
Oh, yeah. I've only been to one. I walked out midway. And I told my husband, I was like, I'll do this for you, but like, I want you to know that I'm going to leave as soon as
I've seen 3 or 4, and I think only one time. I think only once did I stay for the entire thing.
Well, I was actually talking about theater on Friday because I've been avoiding, everyone's like, can I show you this Google AI video that's going around? Do you know what I'm talking about? The one that looks like real people? Like it did it?
Erin, that's like a million of them these days.
I know, but there's one that just came out on Friday.
Oh, that is like legitimately.
Like no, everyone has 5 fingers on each hand.
Yeah, no one's wearing a hat on their knee or something.
It's people doing stand up. There's people man on the street stuff. It is. I literally 3 people were like, "You should watch this," and I said, "I don't want to watch it." And then someone on set on Friday bullied me, and I saw it, and I was very scared. Of course, I was frightened because it looked very real. I couldn't even tell. And one of the people in the video, not people, sorry, a fucking ones and zeros is in front of a mountain going, does this look like beauty that ones and zeros could create? So it's like gaslighting you. The actual video is gaslighting you. And I said, the only thing I can think of that comes out of this is that people reject the internet wholeheartedly because it's full of lies and start doing theater and group activities again in person. I cannot think of another good thing that will come of this.
Honestly, Beyonce, we didn't know this, but her song Irreplaceable was actually meant about AI. You're going to be irreplaceable. Don't go thinking you're irreplaceable. You're completely replaceable. It was
Yeah.
actually about AI.
Yeah.
So
The only thing
we really should be looking to her.
If you don't have a personality or a special skill, I don't know what's going to happen.
Take a nap.
Just take a nap.
Yeah.
Just take a nap. Anyway, what's on the burner for Dateline this week?
Okay, I need everyone to stay with me for this. It's not a Dateline this week. It's a 2020. But I got to tell you, this one, Erin, this is
what year? 2020,
2018.
Okay, so not the old ones from the 80s that always talked about the suicide problem in Waco.
No, not that.
With John Stossel,
not that hit, not that must see TV. No, this one is called A Killer Renovation, and it is about. It really starts from a home renovation, the likes of which you have never seen, that I believe was featured on some show called Zombie Home Renovation, because it was one of the worst home renovation projects anyone's ever seen in their lives.
They made it look like a zombie house?
No, it's some trash show that the guy who is someone involved with this 2020, was obsessed with the show Zombie Renovation and essentially wanted to gut his house so he could be on that show. It's shocking.
Okay.
So it's not only a house without insulation, it's a house that inside doesn't even have a house. But the entire episode, I'm proud to say, does pass the Bechdel test. So that is, as so little does these days. So that was a really sort of encouraging thing. So for anyone feminist out there, I do think that this is really...
And this was a request from somebody, right?
This was a request from somebody. Exactly. So very exciting. And I got to say, this one is truly wild. Like, just stay with it, babes, because it zigs and it zags like you can't even imagine. So yes, please check that out. We're in Orlando, Florida, by the way. There's a 911 call that literally this guy does this in a falsetto. I mean, it sounds like Mickey Mouse, to be honest. He's like, wait a second. It's
the 911 operator or the person calling?
Person calling.
I can't wait.
It's wild.
I cannot wait. We also have a Vault episode 92. I got Invisalign. My S's were sloppy. Okay. And then we also call Secretary of Invisalign. Remember Invisalign?
Yeah.
Then we call Secretary of State John Kerry, which is Bryan, to have him try to stop Russia's anti-gay laws for the Sochi Olympics.
That's right. Well, he did.
Do you remember your John Kerry impression?
Yeah, I think it was like, oh, if you don't tell me something, then I'm not going to say a word.
Great.
Would you like some ketchup on that? My wife owns the company.
As we all know, John Kerry is married to Teresa
Heinz Kerry, and she can say it in 8 different languages.
I hope they're doing well.
Oh, me too. I doubt they ever see each other. She's running around the world running multinational corporations. I don't think she...
Does she run the ketchup? Does she run Heinz?
She was running many things, yeah. No, she's
running her mouth. Tell you that much.
Okay. Remember she told the reporter, that's not what I said. Shove it. She did not want anything to do with being elected to the White House. I can tell you that.
Icon. Who would?
Yeah. She was like, why would we do that? Also,
babe, we're rich. What are we doing?
So fucking rich, babe.
Could you just get like a hobby or something, babe?
Come on, babe. Also, if you're going to be in the Edinburgh... Sorry, excuse me. Someone did take me to task in a good way this weekend because
about how you pronounce it?
It's Edinburgh. That's their specific.
Oh, yeah.
Like a frat guy. Edinburgh.
Bruh. Yeah.
So I will be at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
They said you were saying fringe wrong too.
The Genital Festival. The Fringe Festival. I will be, now that I can't say all of the words correctly. That makes me seem privileged. The Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I will be at July 30th to August 25th at the Underbelly. You can go to bryansafi.com for tickets or to my Instagram. You can go to the link in the bio. And please come. It's a very competitive environment. And if you're not going to be in the UK but know people who are, please spread the word. It's an incredible festival with some truly unbelievable performers. But I want you to see my show. Okay? In the meantime,
where can people get tickets, Bryan?
bryansafi.com or the link tree in my Instagram.
There you go.
Link in bio.
Ready for some shoes?
You bet. Well, Erin, there's a pretty intense case that I'm not very excited about. Heading.
With the Supreme Court?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know about this.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready to talk about it.
Well, there's so many of them these days.
Well, it is the season. It's summertime. They've got to do all their rulings in June, right?
Do you know that hello, the word, is only like 100 years old?
What was it before? Greetings?
Good morning.
Greetings.
Like how they do in other countries, but it would be like, good morning, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
But Alexander Graham Bell tested the telephone by saying hello.
He made it up?
I think, or hello just wasn't really used. And then that song, Hello, My Baby, that the frog sings, the WB frog, was making fun of the fact that hello was a new word. It was like, hello, 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 I'm nuts, hello. Yeah. It was like shading the word hello. Yeah.
What Arizona iced tea flavor did you learn this from?
Honestly, you're going to laugh. Those really were the days. Because you would be the only one in 10 people would be imparted to that information. You know what I mean?
That's how people survived at parties. Now everyone knows the same info because they're seeing it all in the same
small talk came from Arizona iced tea bottles and Snapple iced tea bottles. And if you were a soda drinker, you wouldn't be clued in on those things.
No.
It was only if you were drinking bottled iced tea. Or canned.
Bottled iced tea was the Encyclopedia Britannica of the 90s.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There's a horrible case heading to the Supreme Court, or I'll say intense. Honestly, it is horrible. That could really shake up healthcare and how it works in the US in a bad way. Don't get me wrong. There needs to be a shakeup in how healthcare works. But this is specifically for preventative healthcare. And what is the preventative healthcare most closely associated with LGBTQ folks? It is, of course, PrEP, pre-exposure prophylactic, which is a medication that prevents HIV infection. One of the most effective tools we have to fight HIV. If you take it daily, it reduces the risk of getting HIV from sex by over 99%.
Jeez.
Unbelievable.
Breakthrough drug.
Beyond. It is the reason that, or one of the big reasons that HIV rates, especially in countries like the US, have plummeted. It is also now, not only can you take it daily, there's also now a shot that you can take every couple of months, I believe. There's been so many breakthroughs with it to make it easier and more effective and more accessible for people to get it. Not to mention the fact that it is also free if you're insured. You get it without any cost. I pay $0 for my PrEP every month. And it has very, very, very few side effects, but you still get tested every 3 months for all STIs, including HIV, just to make sure that, I believe it could affect your liver, just to make sure that all your levels are okay. Mm-hmm. So they do try to keep it pretty safe. But there's a new case headed to the Supreme Court called Kennedy versus Braidwood Management.
And is it Robert
it's
Kennedy?
Not. Okay. It's not. No, it isn't. Braidwood Management, by the way, is run by a guy named Dr. Stephen Hotz, who I believe actually is an MD, but it's a Christian-run company that is at the center of this legal fight. His company, Braidwood, is suing the federal government over a requirement in the ACA, Obamacare, that forces insurers to cover PrEP, the medication that prevents
What
HIV.
does it matter if a healthcare provider? What does it matter? What leg do they have to stand on?
Well, I'll tell you what they have to stand on in just a second, because there actually is something that I'll get to in just a second. There is a specific law that really, he's doing it on religious reasons, saying that his company is religious. They don't want to have anything to do with birth control, STI coverage, or PrEP, that they consider it immoral. And he goes beyond even saying immoral.
But are they saying that he's an insurance provider?
Well, no, he's saying, sort of like how all these people do, that I shouldn't have to pay into an insurance that covers these things.
I see. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? For my employees.
Sure.
But in the meantime, it's sort of like, dude, and I'll let you know in a second who this guy really is. We already know he's not hiring queer people at his company.
Yeah.
How much could this possibly affect him? Anyway, so here we go. So Beyond the fact that PrEP is, again, one of the most effective tools in the world for fighting HIV, he doesn't want his business's health insurance to cover it at all. And his reason completely has to do with religion. Here is what he has said in the past, and actually, even as recently as 2024, the homosexual behavior is immoral, simple, and perverse. He also says that queer people are trying to pervert society, recruit children. Like, honestly, so boring. Like, we know, we've heard it, honey. Flip the record, please. We beg of you. And that sort of rhetoric isn't just a one-off. His whole company has had an entire history, and especially he has, of talking like this. He's done everything they've all done, honey. He's compared homosexuality to bestiality. He's called gay people sexual predators. He says that allowing queer rights brings the downfall of civilization. Like, I don't know. We've heard this. I don't really know how he's any different than Pope Leo, to be honest with you, but here we are. He's a Texan, Erin, from Houston.
God. Okay. Oh, God.
One thing he did that, you know how we say Democrats in the past have said blue no matter who. We've said vote down the ballot, honey, because like the smaller the election, the more it could even matter. You know what I mean? Well, when he was involved in Houston city politics, he pushed what he called a straight slate. It was a straight.
I wonder if this was after Houston nominated their first lesbian mayor.
After.
Yeah. Okay.
The straight slate literally encouraged voters to only elect heterosexual candidates. He promoted voting for the straight slate through robocalls, flyers. He argued that queer people shouldn't be in leadership. It was really disgusting, voting for the straight slate. So, and by the way, the straight slate, guys, in case no one is aware, the straight slate runs every institution in government. Do you know what I mean? Like, the straight slate always wins. Let's be honest. Like, more and more queer people get elected into things, but the straight slate is still ahead. So it seems like every year we're voting for the straight slate, practically. So anyway, what does any of this have to do with PrEP? Well,
the sad thing is that we have to depend on the allyship of straight cis white men.
Otherwise, there's nothing. Otherwise, like, because they're the ones who hold all the power.
The generosity of straight cis white men who want to be in government.
That's right. Which is why, in times when Trump becomes more and more threatening, people don't speak up as much, and we rely on those people to speak up because a lot of them wield power. That's why we have to scream.
Everybody wants to vote when they're trying to get into office, and then everyone's kind of quiet when they have to stand up.
That's why
it's basically Bank of America for the Pride Parade.
It's very difficult to actually have things done when electing somebody. I'm not saying, I don't want to be so jaded as to say it's impossible. Obviously, it can happen for sure. But really, Bernie. Money talks, baby, in this country. That's what it is. Which, by the way, this is a separate story. But ever since Target rolled back their DEI, their sales are plummeting, which I'm thrilled about. Because they lied to us about who they were.
Yeah, they did.
Like, other people are like, well, why don't you attack Walmart sales? Well, honey, they've told us who they are. You lied. Anyway, Dr. Steve Hotz and his lawyers say that by being forced to include PrEP, they're being made to facilitate behavior, that's quotes, that they considered sinful. And they think offering coverage for PrEP means they're supporting gay sex and drug use, both of which they, obviously reject. And all of this rests on the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, the RFRA, which was a law that is meant to protect individual religious rights. However, his critics say that this is all being twisted, and that really this has nothing to do with religion. It's just that he happens to be very anti-gay and, frankly, anti-healthcare. And then that's why he's doing this?
Of course, because I didn't hear this motherfucker's name when there was a sexual abuse scandal in the Baptist church in Houston. Exactly. I didn't hear him speaking up for victims of that.
That's what's so fucked up is, by the way, like, I brought that up to my parents with the Southern Baptist Church, and they had no idea what I was talking about.
What?
And I was like, it was a major scandal.
Well, let me tell you.
At some point, someone in my family was like, you don't see Protestant churches getting under fire for that. I was like, you don't? And this was like when that story was like a month old.
Yes.
And I was like, did you read this and this and this and this?
Well, the other fucked up thing, okay, this is not Texas, but this is I'm going to try to tell the shortest version of the story, but you know how like kids like to be tracked now?
Yes. No.
Like they share okay, well, basically like under 30 set to them, like being part of a friend group or being part of like feeling love from their parents is that they are constantly being tracked on their iPhone where they are.
Wow. Right.
But I could not condone this less. I truly am skeeved out by it. And
this is why parents go to interviews with their children. Like when their children have a job interview, that's why they go.
Yes. So what Ollie's half sister had shared her location with him as a like, hey, we're family, right? Anyway, I saw where she was. She was at some mega church in Arizona. I look up the fucking pastor. He has been church hopping all over America for abuse scandals.
Of course.
And now he's running a mega church in Arizona.
Where it's not
but nobody cares. Nobody
honest.
Cares.
I know. It's crazy. It's beyond hypocrisy. I mean, it's just.
So you care about what gay people do in the bedroom, but you don't care about the fact that women, and probably more than women, are being sexually assaulted in your churches.
And he's been on one since the 80s, like trying to get people in Texas who are queer so that they don't get housing, so that they don't get jobs, wanting it to be fireable. I mean, this is his life mission, which of course makes me want to take.
How shocked would you be?
Zero.
To find out that this man
couldn't be less shocked.
Is doing other things.
Are you kidding me? But the reason that this affects everyone and not just people who use PrEP is that if this, because it's in the Supreme Court now, if they were to side, the Supreme Court were to side with HOTS, this affects more than PrEP, because it would then let insurers pick and choose which preventative services to cover, just based on moral objections. So that includes not just PrEP, but other preventative things like cancer screenings, STI screening, depression treatment and screening, and even vaccines.
Oh, so probably a case birth like control. They started with birth control.
Right.
And then they're also going to do any kind of trans healthcare.
Yep.
And they'll do it with, and what if you're a vaccine denier?
Because not only does this turn back the clock on queer rights, it also turns back the clock on public health. One of the legal advocates supporting this case, supporting it, I guess you could say, says people need to know this isn't just about PrEP. It's a coordinated attack on public health using religion as a cover for discrimination. I mean, that's textbook.
Also,
that's all it ever is.
How bleak. Even if you don't care about queer people, this might affect you. That's what the subtext.
By the way, Holtz is also a criminal. He was indicted in 2021 for hiring a private investigator to falsely accuse an AC repairman, like an HVAC man, of election fraud by saying his truck had tons of stolen ballots in it. And so he hired someone to run into this truck with his car and then hold this guy at gunpoint, and there was nothing in the truck.
So it's just a fucking fever dream.
Yeah. And then the state dropped the case against Holtz. So this guy's terrible. He also, by the way, he's a musician.
Oh, God. Okay, we'll say no more.
Would you like to hear one of his songs?
Oh, because he's not in Fleetwood Mac and now he's making everyone else's life miserable?
This is what makes me nervous, is literally this was based, really. I almost want to blame Cher for this song. Because if Believe hadn't come out, we wouldn't be at this point. So, Erin, the title's as catchy as the actual song, or vice versa. It's called God-Fearing Texans Stop Obamacare.
Okay.
Absolutely beautiful.
A real banger.
So catchy. And I'm going to play it for you right now.
Okay.
And by the way, I found all of this on The Guardian. Somehow couldn't really find it in American press, although I'm sure it's there.
Interesting. Oh, by the way, I donate to The Guardian monthly because that's where I get a lot of my news now.
Me too. Here we go.
Texans are God-fearing people. They love liberty. They love life. They fight against the tyranny of the federal government.
They're beautiful.
What would William Travis do? What would Sam Houston do?
What would Sam Houston
Sam
do?
Houston.
What would Davy Crockett do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight Obamacare. I'm going to defeat Obamacare. Obamacare means high insurance premiums, high taxes, bureaucrats running medicine, and ultimately the financial collapse of America. Texas should be free again. It should be an independent
Oh yeah, here
nation.
comes the secession talk.
Entrepreneurs,
Texas
free money,
is its
people
own
Get it.
country.
all over the country and the world to be here. We would be the greatest nation in the world. Texas, our Texas, will be free again. Great nation. We will defeat Obama.
Yes, honey.
Texas will rise.
Isn't that gorgeous?
I love it. Oh my God, there's still 2 minutes left.
Yeah, let me see the end here.
Let's do the end. Let's see how. Oh,
It's
it
all
still
sounds the
They
same.
repeats.
love liberty. They love life.
Oh,
Do you believe?
do you believe in God-fearing Obamacare? Also, did you hear how quickly these fucking Texans, they go, this is about liberty. This is about freedom from the tyrannical U.S. government. Texas should be its own country. Like they go zero to
89.
succession.
Yes.
I mean, secession so fast.
Gone in 60 seconds.
They're like, this is about the federal government. Actually, it's about Texas being free, being its own country.
So right now.
By the way, I dare you guys, go for it. See how it fucking works out.
Totally,
Be your
do
own
it,
fucking
babe.
country.
Do
Babe,
it.
babe, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, okay?
Babe.
I hate seeing you go, but I love to watch you leave.
That's right. So the Supreme Court's expected to rule on this later this year, possibly even in a few weeks, in June, probably. But in the meantime, obviously, queer organizations, health justice organizations are pushing back hard because, again, this really isn't about religion or politics. This is really about queer rights. And again, as I mentioned, insurers right now have to cover PrEP with no out-of-pocket cost under the Affordable Care Act. If this is overturned, employers, insurers with religious or moral objections could drop coverage. People with higher risk of HIV could lose access to this life-saving drug. Cost barriers could shoot up, pricing people out of protection. And not to mention, if this goes away, insurers might no longer have to cover cancer screenings, STI screenings, depression screenings, high blood pressure and diabetes screenings, statins for heart disease, vaccines, all of this. It's unbelievably wild. And this isn't just about employer-covered health insurance. So this would apply to all private health insurers under the Affordable Care Act. So even if you get your insurance through like healthcare.gov or from the state like Covered California or New York State of Health or a private insurer you bought a plan from directly, it could just be lost.
But I'm going to tell you what this is. I mean, yes, this is homophobia to the max, but also what people don't understand about these fucking men in Texas is their number one problem is they don't want to pay to be part of a fucking community. They
have everything they want.
They have everything they want. Why should they help you out? Why should why should there be any charity, ironically, in a state that is so fucking gung-ho about religion? They don't give a fuck about other people. They
And we
really,
haven't shamed them
truly
hard
don't.
enough
No.
to like, I don't know. It's really disgusting. But anyway, what's good is that, you know how like people like watch the justices when this is happening and like pay attention to their questions. So obviously we have one of the most conservative courts in American history, but it seems like people are reading into their Houdini tea leaves and being like, we don't think that this will happen, but we don't know that this won't. It's a gamble.
These people are wild. I don't even, sometimes they rule it away. I'm like, wow, that was weirdly empathetic. And then they do crazy shit.
Also, just quickly, just shout out to Italy, who finally is allowing two lesbian mothers to both be considered the parent of a child, even if only one of them bore it. But it's only lesbians. So that's wonderful. So gay men do not have that right. So that's great. So we're really getting
I have to
there.
be
We're getting
honest
there.
with you. We talk a lot about moving to Italy because Ole, is Italian and he loves tomatoes. And so those are the two reasons.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But I was like, babe, the machismo, the homophobia.
Yeah, it's all there. It's all here too. Listen, those things are everywhere. Those things are in every country in the world. I really believe that.
Okay, you're totally right. I have to say Canada's cool as hell on that front.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, Canada. Oh, I asked one of the guys at work. I was like, "Why do you think because I hang out in the camera truck during lunch?"
Like by yourself?
No, with the camera guys.
Oh, that's nice.
And we bro out
You're just all in a truck together. Do you drinking Coors?
It's not far off. Anyway, there's a cappuccino machine in there. They make cappuccinos.
One of my private clients. No wonder you hang out in there.
No, it's like, and it's the best coffee I've ever had. They like take it very seriously. But I was like, why are guys in Canada so much chiller to hang out with? And he said, because it's not, it's cool to be smart here.
Right.
And I said, that's really what a fine point to put on that. But you're absolutely right.
One of my private clients was telling me that in Sweden, they have a chain called like the Lone Star restaurant in Sweden, in like Stockholm.
For Texas?
Yeah. It's like a Texas barbecue / Tex-Mex restaurant. And under exotic beers, it has Bud Light, Coors Light, and Shiner under exotic beers.
Shiner. They're shipping Shiner all the way over there.
I thought it said Shiner, yeah.
But isn't in France, isn't like Bud Light or Budweiser cool?
Maybe.
I think
it's like James Dean Americana.
Yes.
Maybe.
It tastes like bucking piss.
It's water. Yeah.
Yeah. You're listening to Beer Talk with Bryan
Absolutely.
and Erin. Two people have no business weighing in on beer.
I know.
Bryan, the insecure need for external validation in men is a hot new trend that is showing up in such cool ways right now. Cowabunga, dude. Cowabunga, dude. I hope you're ready for this surf lesson.
I'm ready, babe.
Because if you think you've seen toxic masculinity, you ain't seen nothing yet. I got two stories that are going to just really
get
focus in on what's yeah, you're going to get fucking, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
You're going to go from soft to
from
fucking
beer
concrete.
talk to hard-ons, honey.
The world's #1 bro podcast, Attitude.
Absolutely. Edinburgh.
So before I get into the news items, I just want to show you this. I was researching some things for this issue and I got distracted. I was researching and then I got distracted figuring out whether or not the internet's being nice to Keanu Reeves this week.
I sure hope it is.
Well, last week there was some weird thing where he was being shamed for his dad bod.
Honestly, that man is perfect.
He cannot catch a break.
You're right. He's never really had a break in this world.
Never.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. Leave Keanu alone.
I agree.
By the way, my friend was like trying to talk me into the fact that I was bisexual.
Okay.
And I said, what proof do you have? And she said, who's your #1 celebrity crush? And I said, Keanu Reeves. And she goes, that's evidence A. Riddle, I don't know what it means.
Listen, it doesn't have to make sense. That's the best part.
Yeah. The cool thing is I am chronically straight. I've tried.
Listen, there's no wiggle room for me either.
Yeah.
So.
What can I do?
I wish I were different on the Kinsey scale. Sadly, I'm not. I wish I were.
No, I'm fucking listen. Okay. This is not about whether or not I'm bisexual. Because I think Keanu Reeves is sexy. Okay. So I was researching this shoe and then I was trying to type into Google masculinity is bad for boys, but I didn't get that far. I just put in masculinity is, and I want to show you what the things that came up were. Masculine. Do you want to read these, Bryan?
Oh my God. Masculinity is dying is the first one. Then masculinity is a dimension of culture that masculinity is not a gender.
Okay, whatever that means.
Masculinity is a good thing. Masculinity is what you make it. Fair enough. Masculinity is not toxic. Masculinity is good. Masculinity isn't toxic. The absence of it is. Masculinity is the social construct. More bad than good in there.
More bad than good. Yeah. So that was upsetting. But let me get to the stories. So these are bad ideas trending on the imaginary world that lives inside of our computers and phones. And I don't know where these ideas are coming. This is shockingly like a next level of sexism that feels, I'm going to tell you how we can use it for good later, but I'll just tell you what the stories are first. So Representative Tim Burchett of Tennessee, you'll never guess what party this guy's a part of.
I'm going to say Republican.
Yeah, you're right.
Tim from Tennessee.
Tim from Tennessee. Tennessee Tim. Mm-hmm. He was on the Fox show Jesse Watters Primetime. And he was talking.
Oh, I know who that guy is.
Yes. Yeah. He was talking to a correspondent from the show who was curious about the issues plaguing Americans at the moment and was interviewing members of Congress. Just kidding. He was asking dumb questions. Not even dumb questions. He was reiterating bad ideas that Jesse Watters Primetime believes.
So let me guess what they were. Probably issues affecting America include inflation, unaffordable housing, access to healthcare. I'm sure that had to have been what they discussed.
Yes. And then that's what I'm sure they thought that in their minds, but they're that's boring.
Yeah.
And so what he asked was, do you believe in the idea that Jesse Watters has, which is that men should not drink out of straws in public?
I remember this guy talking about that. Yeah.
Okay. So then Burchett's Tim from Tennessee said, I don't drink out of a straw, brother. That's what the women in my house do. Now, I just want to show you this picture of Tim. Okay. This is him.
I got to be honest with you. He looks like literal Amelia Bedelia.
He is a fucking grade A nerd.
Rolled out of bed. I've never seen. He won't drink out of a straw, but he'll have reading glasses with a strap on them.
Thank you. That's exactly
this is like
my
Mrs.
point.
Peacock energy.
Your fucking marble brain can't even remember if your glasses are on your person.
Yeah.
And you won't drink out of a straw? I think you need all the help you can get, sir.
Yeah.
Here's the next. Oh, by the way, he also called Kamala Harris the DEI VP. Here's another pic. This might be my favorite. This is from his campaign. Okay. Now.
So go ahead, Erin.
There's no way this man rides this bike. I just want you to.
This is a guy with a motorcycle who does not look terribly comfortable on it.
No, he's LL Bean on the top and 50s
By the way,
Hell's Angels.
Those clothes still have tags on them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I said to Ollie, I go, I don't think this bike, I'm not a bike bitch. Sure. But I said, I don't think this bike runs. And he said, that bike looks like it was pulled out of a dumpster.
Yeah.
And he said the back tire is so deflated you would instantly crash on it.
No, it
doesn't look deflated to me because I'm not a bike bitch, but he was like, you can't ride this bike. It's not street safe. There's no way it functions.
No.
Everything's rusted out on it.
No, this is like a bike that's in like John Varvatos. But in the window. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Inoperable, but cool vintage sort of.
Yes. But it's
almost steampunk.
To me, it's really sums up the conservative party in the US, which is unqualified and hanging on to the trash of the past. Just being like, yeah, I ride a bike. Prove I don't. Dude. I'm sitting on one. You can't prove I don't ride bikes. I am literally sitting on a bike.
Does he wear his readers on the bike, the ones that attach to his neck?
He goes so... they fly off his head like this. And then he's like, oh, my glasses. But then it catches,
Thank God he has that.
Yeah. He's got his Saks Fifth Avenue glasses chain on.
Absolutely.
It's not just old people in the conservative party, Bryan. It is new men too. There is this stupid ass fucking trend of men trimming down or completely shaving off their eyelashes to look more masculine. Do you know about this?
That makes you look more masculine?
No, it makes you look like an android.
I did not know about this.
It makes you look like a Hot or Bot commercial.
Just makes you look like Michael Chiklis, right?
I guess.
I don't know. Does he have eyebrows? He probably does.
No, eyelashes.
What?
Your eyelashes.
That's dangerous.
They're shaving. I know. They're putting
you need
razors.
Them for not only for pollution, but also to protect your eyes from the sun.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Here's what eyelashes do. Keep bacteria out of your eyes.
Yeah.
They're a trigger for your blink reflex. They also maintain moisture by keeping air out of your eyes.
Right. Exactly. They're defense weapons.
Filter out sunlight and reduce glare.
Yeah.
You fucking need them. It's literally like shaving off your arms because they're gay. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Why are eyelashes feminine?
I agree. They're not.
They're taking razors.
I think because the word used to describe eyelashes is typically beautiful. Like, whenever I've gotten my haircut or something by like, someone will be like, God, your lashes are so beautiful. I'm so jealous. And when I was a kid, it did make me self-conscious.
It did?
When I was little. Because I was already like, people were saying I was feminine and stuff. So it made me nervous. However, guess what? I was a child.
Also, people shouldn't have been doing that to you as a child.
In an abusive environment.
How fragile is your fucking ego? Is your fucking identity that if somebody at the gym was like, nice lashes, you must be a woman. You're like, I guess I'm going to take a razor blade to my eyeballs?
And B, why did you notice my lashes?
Also, dude, what's up? You want to suck my dick? What's up?
Hey, dude, you want to get your mouths all over these lashes?
Yeah, man. Like, I can set this up for you. There's a steam room on location.
Yeah, I will bat my eyelashes all over that D.
Okay, I am barely able to put eyeliner in my waterline, which is where you put it like right inside of your eye. And I have been doing decades of practicing putting makeup on to trust these men who have probably not even touched their face with anything but bar soap in the shower.
Oh, that's by the way,
a sharp object.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, yeah. Not just razors. In Turkey and New Zealand, they're using electric clippers. So they're doing it at the barber shop.
This is all very Dune. This is like whatever club Austin Butler belonged to in Dune 2.
Yeah.
The like no eyebrow. Ugh. Gross.
But the fact that these people are distancing themselves, straws and eyelashes, because they think they're feminine. The blaming of women for all, like, why? Okay, let's say they are. Let's say drinking out of a straw is feminine. Let's say that eyelashes are feminine. They're fucking not. But if they are, who gives one fuck? Like, why are you so fragile that you can't be like, who cares?
Do you know how much more fuckable it would be if you were like, well, I don't drink out of a straw because it's not good for the environment? So much hotter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also more annoying. I'll be honest, it's also more annoying.
That women are at fault for whatever shit is happening inside of these people's brains.
It's awful.
No, not once have they considered it could be the pressures of capitalism or rigid inability to express their feelings, binary categories that we're trying to shove everyone into all the time. But I think if we could somehow use this to our advantage, we might be able to like flip the script. So like, what if we were like, denying people due process? Fucking female as hell, bro. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be a lady. So you should probably not deny people due process or give rich people $400,000 in tax breaks, because that is female as hell, bro. Human trafficking, lady shit.
Yeah. You just have to rebrand.
We just need to rebrand this. And then we can use it it's all about marketing.
Thank you.
Aesthetics, PR.
Okay. All three really femme words.
Yeah, so don't do it. Once again, if you have not bought tickets since the beginning of the show to Bryan's Edinburgh show, you can go to bryansafi.com.
Bryan Safi, are you mad at me? Get into it.
Get him. We've got some iTunes and Patreon reviews.
Laura Fisk from Patreon says, Gaddy's Pizza indeed still exists. They're all over, at least in Austin. So they're mostly pizza places, not entertainment centers.
Yes, Google Maps, we know that's how they're licensing into entertainment centers. I bet to get out of some kind of like, we don't want to be on some list for the health inspector because we don't actually serve pizza here.
Right. On Google Maps, it's Mr. Gaddy's, but on the sign, it's just Gaddy's Pizza. I can't speak on the pizza quality. I think I had it as a kid at family events, so it's usually cold and sitting out when I've eaten it.
Well, that's tracks, absolutely. But then Anna disagrees. Anna said I had just had Gaddy's delivery last month and it still slaps.
Oh, God. We don't know where it stands. Texas. Matt Harrison,
go ahead.
Yeah, go. You go.
Attitudes come for the gender and LGBTQIA issues. Stay for the fever dream of Bryan's second cousin's Italian husbands or grandfather's restaurant. His homophobic boss being friends with Jimmy Carter. Erin arguing with a Russian man on a waterfall suspension bridge that's with the width of a remote control. Bryan jumping into the mouth of a giant shark in Rhode Island.
Oh, honestly, honey,
that sums it up.
I'm worried for anyone who listens. Erin Elizabeth. Ooh. Spitehouse org. I stayed at a different Moxie, also for free in New York City for work, and I wish I could include the picture I took of the D-grade energy building certificate they had. Did your shower have a peekaboo sliding window into the bedroom?
Did yours? Did you have a peekaboo sliding window into the bedroom?
I didn't, but it's, Moxie's very funky, so I'm not surprised.
Oh, yeah. Well, Stephanie said she stayed at a Moxie in Dublin and there was nowhere to put stuff in the room.
They fucking suck. It's so true. This new thing we're doing, episode 24, got some comments. Eliza says, day one listener from the old days here, born and raised in Yonkers, baby.
I don't know why I'm so drawn to Yonkers. I've never even been there.
Well,
There's something.
You told us why, because you said they have owls.
Yeah, they have owls. But you can go to the city.
Eliza said, I don't personally have owls, but I keep an eye out. But I think we're much closer to the city than you think. I know.
Okay, I want to do outskirts of Yonkers. I want to do Yonkers adjacent.
Fine. And Liza then said, and Yonkers had a huge Alexander's. And in the 80s and 90s, it was the place to be, kind of like a high-end TJ Maxx before TJ Maxx. I wish it still existed.
I would love to be there. Carrie said the Brady's had me howling. Please recap, Erin. Sergio already found all the episodes. It will be on my agenda as soon as I'm done in July.
By the way, Tom Link, our beloved Tom Link, is doing a live stage reading of one of the episodes of the Brady's at Dynasty Typewriter in July. Yes. Okay.
What weird Sarah did? Why is it in the ether again?
Yeah, he DM'd me saying like, you're going to die, but we're doing it. We're reading an episode of the Brady's at Dynasty Typewriter in July. So if you're in the LA area, you should go see it.
Well, then we should have Tom on for the first episode of the recap. Because I feel like, absolutely. Well, yeah, or whatever episode they read on stage, we should have Tom on for that one.
Definitely.
You can always, as always, join us once a month if you're a lady attorney on our Patreon, we do a live episode. There's other tiers you can join on Patreon and you get ad-free episodes. It's so nice. What a great community. There's a Discord. Go on there. It's patreon.com/attitudes.
And again, this week's Dateline/2020. I call them Dateline anyway. It's 2020. But if you're $10 and up tier, you'll be getting it this month. It's a killer renovation and it's wild.